If you are over 50 and doing squats to strengthen your hips and legs, but still not feeling stronger, you are not alone. Maybe you walk regularly. Maybe you are diligent about exercising a few times a week. And yet, despite your best efforts, you still feel a persistent stiffness in your hips. You might feel a nagging weakness in your legs when climbing stairs, or perhaps a dull discomfort in your knees or your lower back after a workout. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know that this video is specifically for you. Today, we are going to explore 3 gentle, targeted glute exercises that support strength, balance, and mobility. We are going to approach this in a way that is safer, kinder, and scientifically more effective for the changing body after 50. Welcome to Mindful Aging, where we believe that growing older means moving smarter, not harder. Let's take a moment to understand why this is happening. For decades, the fitness industry has told us that the squat is the king of all exercises. We are told that if we want strong legs and a firm backside, we must squat. And while squats can be a wonderful movement for some, they are not always the most suitable choice for everyone, especially as we navigate our 50s and 60s. Here is the reality that often gets overlooked. As we age, our joints become more sensitive to compression. Our recovery time increases, but most importantly, the way our muscles coordinate with one another can quietly change. In our modern lives, we spend a lot of time sitting, in cars, at desks, or on the sofa. Over time, this causes the hip flexors at the front of the body to tighten, and the glute muscles at the back of the body to go to sleep. This is often called glute amnesia. So, when you go to perform a squat with tight hips and sleepy glutes, your body has to find a way to complete the movement. It recruits other muscles to take over. Instead of your glutes doing the heavy lifting, your lower back arches, your knees take the pressure, or your quadriceps overwork. So if you have been staying active but still feel tight, weak, or uncomfortable, please know that it is not your fault. And it is certainly not because you are getting older or falling apart. It is simply a matter of mechanics. Your body is compensating. That means you are working harder, getting fewer results, and slowly placing strain on the areas that need protection the most. Over time, this leads to pain instead of progress. The good news is that this is something we can support and improve, starting right now. You do not need to push through the pain. In fact, we are going to do the opposite. After 50, true strength doesn't come from aggression or intensity. It comes from intention. Your body responds best when it feels safe, when it feels supported, and when it is properly aligned. When the nervous system feels safe, it releases tension. When the tension releases, the correct muscles can finally wake up and do their job. That is why intense workouts and heavy weights aren't always the answer. Often, what your body really needs is a gentler, more mindful approach. Instead of doing more repetitions, or forcing movements that don't feel right, it is far more effective to follow a simple, thoughtful sequence that supports how your body naturally wants to move. In this video, we will walk through a 3-step system designed especially for adults over 50. These movements are low impact, joint-friendly, and easy to modify. You can do them at home, in your living room, at your own pace. We are going to move through 3 phases: resetting, stabilizing, and strengthening. Let's begin with step 1. Reset the hips. Before we try to build strength, we must first create the right environment for movement. We need to reset the position of the pelvis. Imagine your pelvis is a bowl of water. For many of us, because of tightness in the lower back, that bowl is tipping forward, spilling water out the front. This turns off the glutes and compresses the spine. To fix this, we use a simple movement called the pelvic tilt. You can do this lying on your back on a comfortable mat, or even on your bed. Lie down with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Rest your hands gently on your lower belly. Notice the small space between your lower back and the floor. Now, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently rock your pelvis backward, pressing your lower back down into the floor. Imagine you are trying to imprint your spine into the mat. You are not squeezing hard, you are just gently tilting that bowl back to level. Hold that position for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then inhale and relax, letting the natural curve return. Let's do that again. Exhale, flatten the back, engage the lower abdominals slightly, and tilt. This simple motion stretches the tight muscles in the lower back and signals to the nervous system that it is safe to relax. There is no rush here. If you do this 10 times slowly, you are waking up the connection between your brain and your hips. You are telling your body that it is time to move correctly. Now that the hips are reset, we move to step 2. Stabilize the body. Once the hips feel more balanced, we need to remind the body how to balance. Stability is different from raw strength. Stability is the ability to control your body in space. These are the muscles that keep you steady when you walk on uneven pavement, or when you reach for something on a high shelf. For this step, we will use a standing exercise. You might want to have a sturdy chair or a countertop nearby for support. Stand tall with your feet hip-width apart. Rest your fingertips lightly on the chair. Shift your weight comfortably onto your left leg. Keep a tiny, soft bend in your left knee, never lock it out. Now, simply extend your right leg out to the side, tapping your toe on the floor. Here is the secret sauce. Before you lift that leg, think about growing taller through the crown of your head. Pulling your belly button gently toward your spine. This is your anchor. Now, keeping your hips level, don't let them hike up. Lift your right foot just an inch or two off the floor. Pause, and lower it back down. We aren't trying to kick high. We are trying to stay steady. Notice what is happening in your standing leg. That outer hip is working hard to keep you upright. That is stabilization. That is the muscle that protects your knees and prevents falls. Do 5 or 6 of these slow, controlled lifts on each side. Focus on the quality of the movement, not the height of the leg. You may notice subtle shaking or muscle engagement. That is exactly what we want. That is your brain figuring out how to balance. No strain, no pressure, just steady, quiet support. Finally, we arrive at step 3, strengthen gently. Now that the body is aligned and the stabilizers are awake, we can introduce direct strengthening for the glutes. But instead of a deep squat that grinds the knees, we are going to use a standing glute extension. Remain standing facing your chair or countertop. Place both hands on it for support. Step your feet back slightly so you have room to move. Shift your weight to your left leg again. Keep your chest lifted and your eyes looking forward. Now, slide your right foot straight back behind you, keeping your toe on the floor. Tighten your glute muscle, your bottom, on the right side. Squeeze it first. Then, using that squeeze, lift your right leg back behind you. Be very careful here. You only want to lift the leg as high as your hip allows without arching your back. If you feel a pinch in your lower back, you have gone too high. The movement might be small. That is okay. Think about lengthening the leg away from you, reaching through your heel. Squeeze at the top for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and slowly lower down. This exercise isolates the glute muscle without putting any load on the knee joint or the spine. It builds the specific strength you need to walk faster, climb stairs easily, and get up from a chair without using your hands. Focus on slow movement, even pressure, and relaxed breathing. If you do 10 of these on each leg, focusing purely on that squeeze, you will get more benefit than you would from 50 sloppy squats. Remember, strength comes from consistency, not intensity. Building strength after 50 isn't about pushing your body to its absolute limits or trying to look like you did when you were 20. It is about listening, supporting, and moving with care. It is about preserving your energy so you can enjoy your life, whether that means playing with grandchildren, gardening, traveling, or simply walking through your neighborhood without pain. Even small movements, when done with this kind of mindfulness and regularity, can create meaningful change. With this 3-step approach, resetting the alignment, stabilizing the hips, and strengthening with intention, you can transform how your body feels. You can feel steadier on your feet. You can reduce unnecessary tension. You can move with greater ease and confidence. Your body is not fragile. It is resilient. It simply needs the right kind of support to thrive. I invite you to try these 3 steps tomorrow morning. Be patient with yourself. Treat your body like a friend you are helping, not a problem you are trying to fix. If you found this video helpful, or if it changed the way you think about exercise, please consider subscribing to Mindful Aging. We are dedicated to bringing you more gentle exercises, wellness guidance, and mindful movement designed specifically for this chapter of life. Thank you so much for being here and for dedicating this time to your health. Until next time, move gently, breathe deeply, and take good care of yourself.